Breaking. Prince William just did what no future king has dared in over 70 years. He openly snubbed the Prime Minister. No scheduling excuse. No polite apology. The Prince of Wales flat out refused to attend Keir Starmer's Commonwealth Day event, a public boycott that has shaken British politics to its core. This wasn't royal etiquette gone wrong. This was defiance. Open, deliberate, and historic. Yesterday afternoon, Lancaster House was packed over 300 guests, including diplomats, ambassadors, and cameras ready to capture a perfect image of British unity. But 15 minutes before William's expected arrival, everything changed. Kensington Palace sent a message that froze the room. The Prince of Wales will not be attending. No reason, no warning, no diplomatic buffer, just silence. The Prime Minister's staff scrambled to explain to bewildered foreign leaders why the future king had just walked away. Within minutes, the embarrassment went global. But palace insiders now confirm what everyone suspected: this was no misunderstanding. William himself reportedly told aides he could not stand beside a government determined to dismantle the monarchy's constitutional role. Those are extraordinary words from someone bound by royal neutrality. And the timing couldn't be more explosive. Starmer's Labour government is pushing reforms to slash royal funding and give Parliament veto power over royal appointments. Ministers call it modernization. The palace calls it a slow-motion coup. Leaked drafts reveal plans to cut the sovereign grant and subject royal speeches and travel to government approval. William's boycott wasn't a gesture, it was a message. For the first time in 7 decades, a future king has crossed the line from protocol to protest, breaking the golden rule of royal neutrality. The fallout? Instant chaos. The Foreign Secretary, David Lammy, was completely blindsided. According to multiple sources, his office didn't even get an official notice. They learned of William's absence through informal channels, not proper diplomatic protocol. That breach alone shows how sudden the decision was, and just how fractured relations between Kensington Palace and Downing Street have become. Cabinet ministers arriving at Lancaster House were left to face a crowd of confused international guests, all asking the same awkward question. Where's the Prince of Wales? Commonwealth leaders expecting to meet Britain's future king instead received awkward apologies from ministers who clearly had no idea what had just unfolded. The optics were disastrous. Commonwealth Day, meant to project unity and stability, turned into a live display of constitutional meltdown. Then, at 8 p.m. last night, came the statement that confirmed the crisis was real. Kensington Palace released a short, carefully worded message from Prince William, polite in tone but explosive in substance. He spoke of defending Britain's constitutional foundations and preserving the independence and dignity of the Crown. One word stood out above all: independence. Legal experts immediately flagged the subtext. William was effectively accusing the government of trying to strip the monarchy of its autonomy, turning it from a neutral institution above politics into a tool of political convenience. That isn't reform, they warned. It's slow-motion abolition. Inside Westminster, alarm bells are ringing. Labour MPs privately admit that a public feud with the royal family is the last thing they need. With Princess Catherine approval ratings soaring above 70% and William ranked among the country's most trusted figures while Starmer numbers sink into the 30s, a showdown with the royals could be nothing short of political suicide. Even inside Labour, cracks are widening. One backbencher, speaking off the record, called the situation an unforced disaster, a blunder that handed the opposition a political gift they could never have crafted themselves. Another described party WhatsApp groups as a mix of disbelief, anger, and outright panic. No one in government thought the royals would actually push back. Now that they have, there's no clear strategy. And William isn't standing alone. Sources close to other senior royals say Princess Anne and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, both known for their discipline and quiet dedication, are equally furious. Anne, who completes more than 500 engagements a year without complaint, is said to be livid over proposals that would strip working royals of vital funding. Behind palace doors, discussions are reportedly underway about coordinated resistance, with multiple royals considering refusing to attend government events until the reforms are scrapped. If that happens, the entire architecture of Britain's soft power begins to crumble. State banquets need royal hosts, Diplomatic receptions rely on their presence. Investitures can't proceed without them. The monarchy and government function as two halves of the same system, and that partnership has just fractured. Public sentiment is already clear. Within hours, social media lit up with hashtags like Stand with William trending worldwide. Overnight polling shows 68% of Britons back the prince's stance, while only 14% side with the government. Even among Labour supporters, barely a third think Starmer should press ahead. Those numbers are politically fatal. Conservative leader Rishi Sunak wasted no time seizing the moment, declaring unwavering loyalty to the monarchy and vowing to reverse every Labour reform if his party returns to power. Whether he believes it or not is irrelevant at working. Within 3 days, Conservative polling surged 7 points, their best showing since the election loss. Starmer has effectively handed his rivals a weapon they could never have built themselves. But beneath the political drama lies a much deeper problem. The monarchy's survival depends on government funding. The sovereign grant may come from Crown estate profits, but it still requires parliamentary approval. If this showdown spirals, both sides stand to lose everything. The royals rely on funding, the government relies on royal cooperation for the ceremonies and diplomacy that hold Britain's system together. This is a standoff with no winners. If William pushes too far, he risks dragging the monarchy into partisan warfare, undermining the very neutrality that sustains it. If Starmer doubles down, he risks triggering a constitutional implosion that could define and destroy his premiership. Experts are calling it unprecedented and dangerous. Britain's constitution depends on unwritten conventions and mutual restraint. When those collapse, there's no rulebook to fall back on. The last comparable rupture was the abdication crisis of 1936, and that nearly ended the monarchy altogether. Professor Robert Hazel, one of Britain's top constitutional scholars, warns this is the gravest crown-government confrontation since World War II. He says both sides must find a face-saving off-ramp now, before egos harden and compromise becomes impossible. And looming over all of it, the Commonwealth dimension. Prince William has poured years into strengthening Commonwealth ties, positioning himself as a future bridge between Britain and the 56 nations that share its legacy. 15 of those countries still recognize the British monarch as their head of state. If William feels the government's reforms threaten that role or disregard Commonwealth traditions, it's clear why he's taking such a high-stakes stand. Behind the scenes, several Commonwealth leaders have quietly sided with him. Diplomatic sources say they see the monarchy as the symbolic glue that holds the Commonwealth together, and they're warning Starmer not to tear it apart. The financial stakes are just as steep. Royal events bring in an estimated £1.8 billion a year in tourism alone, not counting the enormous soft power the monarchy provides in trade and diplomacy. A royal boycott would hit both the economy and Britain's global influence. Inside Number 10, panic is setting in. Some advisors argue that the government should have consulted the palace before unveiling reforms this drastic. Others claim backing down now would make Starmer look weak. He caught between a Republican wing demanding change and a public that's clearly siding with the royals. Parliament is set to debate the royal funding bill on Tuesday. If Starmer pushes forward, confrontation is inevitable. If he retreats, his own base will accuse him of surrendering to hereditary power. There are no good outcomes left. William has already made his choice: better to speak out now, even at the cost of royal neutrality, than to stay silent while the crown's independence is quietly dismantled. Whether that gamble saves the monarchy or sinks it will shape not only William's future as king but the survival of the institution itself. What do you think? Was he right to take a stand? Should Starmer hold his ground or compromise to save the system? Tell us in the comments. Tomorrow, we'll break down the Prime Minister dwindling options, and none of them look good. This story is just getting started.